If you think that trading options is about picking the perfect stock or catching a breakout, you're already set up to lose, because the reality is that the way that you manage your risk is going to determine whether your account survives or it blows up. So until you understand that, no strategy or indicator or trading hack is going to save you. Watch this video and I'm going to tell you exactly how to trade options the right way. Risk first and everything else comes second. This is section number 1. The truth about beginner trading options. Most beginners are going to chase their setups blindly, over leverage small accounts, and ignore stops like your stop losses or your position sizing. They think that the edge is in the stock. They think the edge is in the volatility. The edge is inside of a fancy indicator like the exponential moving average or simple moving average. But the truth is that the edge is in controlling how much you can lose. And in options, we have the utmost upside with this because we can decide how much we lose before we ever enter a trade. The analogy here is that in options, it is a high-powered car. It is the Lamborghini. You don't just hit the gas. You have to know where the brakes are first, or you're going to crash before you even leave the driveway. It's very important that you understand that your edge is in controlling how much you can lose. And again, with options, you decide that before you even enter a trade. And you first control how much you lose, and then you let the market pay you. It doesn't work backwards. You don't try to get paid and then control how much you lose. You first control how much you lose, and then you let the market pay you. Section 2, position sizing is king. So rule 1, decide that you are going to choose how much of your account you're willing to risk per trade. So for example, you have a $5,000 account and a 2% max risk. Max is maximum. So you're going to risk maximum 2% of your $5,000, which means $100 per trade. So how contracts and spreads are going to affect that is why most people don't realize, or most beginner traders do not understand their risk management, because your contract has to equal out to the amount of money you want to risk per trade. It's not how much upside do you want to risk or how much downside do you want to risk. It is literally how much you're paying for the contract is your risk. The risk is predetermined when you buy the contract. There's a video on my channel that explains the red light, green light theory. It is a theory that I created for beginner traders who want to manage their risk like a pro. You can watch that video. It's pinned on my YouTube channel. And I go through that video very in depth, but just as an overview, red is your risk, right? Red light that's your risk. Your yellow light is you're approaching where you might want to enter, and green light is when you're green light, you're ready to go. So even perfect trades here are going to fail if your risk is not predetermined. If you don't choose your risk beforehand, it doesn't matter if it's an A+ setup, A- setup, B+ setup, your favorite setup, something you've traded 1,000 times, it can still fail if your risk is not predetermined. Section 3, you want to select the correct option. So there's 3 different steps, and then we'll reinforce it a little bit. Step number 1 is to identify the setup you understand. One thing I learned from professional trader Anton Creel, who is actually active here on YouTube, he talks so heavily about trading in your comfort zone. If you do not trade with something that you already understand, you're comfortable reading and looking for and seeing within the charts, it's extremely difficult to understand the chart you're looking at and therefore identify it. So you have to first identify a setup you understand. If you do not understand trend lines, Kai Wen does not understand trend lines in a very efficient way, I stay away from them. I love a horizontal key level. Technically the exact same thing. We're connecting swing lows to other swing lows. We're connecting other previous lows to other previous lows, other previous highs to other previous highs, previous high swings to other high swings, right? Higher highs to higher highs, lower lows to lower lows. That's all you're doing. But I don't like trend lines. You might be that same person. So you want to identify which ones do I like, which ones don't I like. And one thing you have to do as to a beginner is you're going to have to let go of all your ego of I have to trade advanced in this way because I need to, because I'm going to look better if I know how to make money with this specific setup. Nobody cares if you're trading the most complex thing on the earth. People care if you make money. That's all that matters. So if you can't make money with the setup you're trading, just try something else. Trade the thing that you understand, right? Every single person is made with a unique mind. Trade the thing that you understand, because there's somebody else in this world who thinks that you're advanced for trading what you trade, but you think, oh, I gotta trade something else. Everybody wants everyone else's setup. Everyone wants everyone else's abilities, but someone on earth is wishing for their ability to trade what you know how to do really well. So that's what I chose to do. I love trading gap ups, gap downs. If there's no gap, there's no trade. Simple. So when I wake up in the morning and I do my pre-market analysis, it's almost like I don't, well, one, I've been trading for years, but two, it's almost like I don't even have to think about my trading setup because I know what I trade and I trade what I know. I trade my comfort zone, just like professional traders like Anton Creel talk about so much. Step number 2, match that setup to your position size and your max risk. We just talked about that. Your position size is going to be how many contracts, and that is going to be dependent on your maximum risk. So if you can only risk $100, you have a few options. You can buy 10 contracts that are $10. You can buy 5 contracts that are $20. You can buy 2 contracts that are $50. And you want to play with your position size, which is your amount of contracts, but your max risk is going to stay the same. All of those combinations get us all to the same $100. Step number 3, determine your time frame. So are you doing long term or short term? Are you a swing trader or a scalping trader? That's going to make a big difference, because for me, I am a scalper. That is my expertise and my proficiency, and that is what I do. So, for example, a trade can look perfect on paper, but then when you adjust your risk to 2%, it's supposed to be, in this example, then you would need to skip a contract or adjust a contract, and you weren't doing that beforehand, right? So the reinforcement here is that you can only trade what your account can survive. The whole point in trading is that you keep your account to live another day. And so if you're trading what you understand, you're matching that to your position size, the amount of contracts that you buy, and your maximum risk. And then, hey, I'm a swinger. I'm going to buy these contracts in order to swing. I'm going to buy these in order to scalp. I'm going to do it to the proportion of what my account can survive. Then that's the actual way to select the proper and correct option. Step number 4, or section number 4, is that you want to have stops and adjustments. So a lot of beginners ignore proper stops. A very simple method is to use a stop based on a percent of your account, not a stock price. So 5% of your account, 1% of your account. That's what you want to use as far as your proper stop. You can also use your maximum risk. This is actually really easy for beginners. If you're risking $100 and you can only afford to lose $100, you can literally lose the entire contract, 100%, and your account will still survive. That's a really great way to make sure that you're not over leveraging yourself and that you're paying attention to your risk. However, an even better way to do that, tweaks that a little bit more, is having a proper stop of a specific key level price. So, when price gets down into this zone, I'll get out. When price looks like it's gonna stop, I'll get out. When it looks like it's going to hit my take profit, I'll get out. No, exactly at $617.49, when it hits this level, I'm getting out. That is a proper stop. Using specific decimal numbers is really great, and it's going to protect you from your emotional instability, and it's going to protect your capital stability as well. Section number 5 is trading options with emotional attachment. Is not the way to go. You need to trade options without emotional attachment. So paper trade first. When you paper trade, you wire your brain to have an unemotional execution. In paper trading, we understand that there are not real dollars, which means a lot of the real emotion you have is absent, but that is perfect. It is perfect to do paper trading to wire your brain, because emotion is the thing that clouds a lot of your judgment. So if you remove emotion, then you can literally see what you're doing wrong. For example, when you learn to drive, your parents are not going to put you on the highway. They're going to put you in an empty parking lot. Why? Because you're driving both ways, might be going similar speeds, might be turning left, turning right, stopping, braking, etc., doing the same things. But one of them is in a very high risk emotional way on a highway as a beginner driver. But if they put you in a parking lot, they can actually see what you're doing wrong without all the high emotions around. So when you put yourself into the parking lot, which is paper trading, you can literally wire your brain the same way that your parents wired you to drive, in a very unemotional way. And then when you get on the road, you're able to already be wired with what you need to do. And then when you add in the emotions, you learn how to navigate that over time through your psychology, through your ability to navigate those emotional parts of having real money. But you don't have to chase perfect setups. You just need to wire your brain. You don't need to hold a trade and hope that it moves properly because of what we talked about earlier. You don't average down beyond your planned risk. You risk what you say you're going to risk, and you let the market pay you. The option trading market is like chess. You win by thinking a few moves ahead, not by reacting to every single candle. So if you set your risk predetermined, you set your entry predetermined, you set your stop loss at a specific key level predetermined, then you're not reacting to every tick. You're playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. So risk management is the very first thing. Then you want to size in properly, have proper stop losses, and that's natural emotional control. You want to ask yourself these two questions with every single decision and options. Am I okay losing this if I'm wrong? If I actually lose this money, will I be okay? And that's going to avoid 50% of the trades that you're probably going to lose in. So what I want to challenge you to do before 2026 is over, or before January 2026 starts to wrap up, implement this before you take your next trade. I want you to comment your max loss on your account that you're going to risk on your next trade to stay accountable. I want you to make sure to subscribe and watch the next video in this risk management mini course. Every lesson is built towards you having consistent options profit and starting to control your downside. One thing I want you to walk away with is that risk management is not adding something later. It is not thinking about trading more after you're profitable. It is not tightening up once you're consistent. Risk management is the one thing that decides whether consistency is even possible. This is the #1 YouTube channel for risk management resources for beginners. Take advantage of it, subscribe to the channel, and watch the risk management mini course playlist that's available on my channel.